It's showtime. Are you eating your hand?
You forgot to buy snacks.
Yeah, we're back again. Hello, Courtney.
Hello, Stan.
How are you
Hello,
today?
friends.
Let's get our on-air sign on back there. And you see, I got a little preview up there so you can see what we look like and all that.
Is it
so
that-
you won't get insecure about any of that.
We're so pretty. Look at that nose.
Yeah, it's a good nose.
It's a big one.
It's not a honker.
It's all up in the business.
Well, we had a good time on 4th of July, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
Absolutely did.
I went down there, we had some house guests during 4th of July, and they were sleeping up here in the studio. I had 3 people up here in the studio, and we all went down there about noontime. And I made the tremendous mistake. I had this beautiful American flag shirt, long sleeve, button up shirt, and I got a cowboy hat and jeans, and I got down there. We had to walk down there from here, which only takes about 10 minutes, but still walking anywhere in this heat is
healthy.
Something. And we got down there, and oh my goodness, we got separated pretty quickly because they wanted to do things and we wanted to do things. Granddaughter wanted ice cream, so Karen took her down for that, and I went upstairs to Mountain Layers and got a delicious dark beer and Elk Watch Stout. Yum, yum. And I'm just standing out there watching the people go by and go, dang, it's hot. It is hot, hot, hot. So we all hooked up, and we ended up walking home. But I needed to come back to your special debut in the dunk tank.
Oh, I had a blast.
At 2 p.m. because I needed a shot at that, right? And it was quite popular. I was like, man, this is great. I had changed my clothes into something a little more lightweight and drove my truck down to the CJ's parking lot and then walked from there because it was much easier for me to do that. And it was great, man. It was great. I got up there. They gave me 3 balls for $5, and I just nailed it on the first throw. Boom.
I had it coming. Even my mom came and got in line, okay?
Your mom did?
My mom was there, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Well, I met your mom, and I met your dad.
Yeah.
And they seemed like lovely folks.
That was so good.
That was very, very nice. They were happy to meet me. And I said, do you watch the podcast? She said, every episode.
She does.
So there is that. Speaking of that, let's look at it because, man, things are kind of cooking right along with the podcast and people watching and the whole thing. Let's lay out a couple of quick things here that have happened with the weekly, just on the weekly recap, which they send to me. We had 14.7 thousand views since the last podcast.
And that's of our shorts.
Mostly shorts, yeah.
Well, that's appreciated.
Although our podcast views have quadrupled in the last 2 weeks. So that's a really good sign. Most people found us through the shorts feed. We did get 33 new subscribers to the channel in the last 7 days.
Oh, wow.
Yep. So that's cool. That's pretty well doubled in the last 7 days.
That's really nice.
But I've discovered some clues as to how to make that work. Because YouTube doesn't tell you anything. They just expect you to figure it all out for yourself. But It's great. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Really appreciate you watching. The shorts have been very, very well received. There was one last week. That Arnold Schwarzenegger one, that's up to close to 17,000 views on its own now. But
very good.
Yeah. But there was another one where we talked about the Supreme Court blocking all the injunctions from the lower courts. Yeah, that's over 7,000 views. People really like that one when we get political, I guess.
I think that might be why some of them watch, just to see what.
Yeah.
our opinions are.
Now, this is primarily a Swain County podcast. We talk about Swain County issues such as the sheriff being arrested.
Dirty.
And then suddenly retiring. I guess yesterday they accepted his resignation. And
Here's what's kind of a little offensive to me. They accepted his retirement on July 1st. Now, we had a county commissioners meeting, and you know what? That wasn't mentioned. And I am a real big advocate for transparency,
absolutely.
accountability. And I think I used those terms about 3 times when I was publicly addressing the board that night. And they didn't mention it, but they waited till the next day to put out a public statement. And they just issued it via, here you go.
That was a huge waste of time. Seems like
It's
it.
safer so you don't get fussed at or questioned.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but they, everybody was so, I think, agog about the whole situation that the fact that he just instantly retired, I think that just kind of went right past and nobody paid attention.
Well, that's the part that gets me, because going into office, it was questionable whether he had proper. Okay, so.
Well, let's back up for just a second. He's been sheriff since 2006. Yeah, 2006. Wow.
And it was challenged if he actually had been discharged from the military with honor or if it was a dishonorable discharge. And there's
I didn't know anything about that.
So there's a military paper that they give you when you get out of the military, 214, showing the, state of your leaving the military, I suppose. And he has refused to submit his. He's refused to show it to us. There was a gentleman, Jerry Lowry, and I actually have all the documents and stuff that back this up. He submitted some subpoenas. He made some complaints. He has all the formal paperwork and claimed that Curtis was dishonorably discharged. And they had that poor little man arrested on a John Doe warrant, which is a warrant that they have a case, but they don't have a subject.
Right.
So they have these warrants, and if they find somebody that they think fits this or does fit this, because we hope that most of our law enforcement has honor, then they have these warrants
Right.
of crimes that have been committed, and they can just arrest. Okay, well, we can serve this warrant on this person because we think they did this crime. There needs to be some evidence. There's
Sure.
not just blatant abuse there, but this man was arrested on a John Doe warrant, and he has actually sold his home that he lived in here for more than 25 years and left the area because it was just so difficult.
Harassment?
It was made so difficult
Harassment.
to continue.
He was
living here.
harassed. Threats were made.
He was arrested out of a meeting on a John Doe warrant and decided to sell his house and move away. And so I think, there's so many questionable things that have happened throughout the course of his sheriffness. And no one's ever been, how do you question the highest legal arrest or, he has the authority. He is the highest authority in the county as far as that goes. And you can't, who do you go to?
Well, it's not going to go well for him now.
I personally went to the Sheriff's Standards Division in 2012. Yeah.
It's very easy right now at this point for people to say, well, he's going to do time for this because the charges are significant. I mean,
we really need to applaud our DA.
Oh,
good job, Miss Welch.
Miss Welch?
Thank you
here's
very
to
much.
You.
Yeah.
Here's to you.
Salut.
Salut. Oh,
that's a tough job.
Milo's, by the way. Milo's.
Oh, no. This is one of my favorite things. It came up early. Chick-fil-A.
Where did you get a Chick-fil-A? Oh, is a food truck down? Is Chick-fil-A?
I have no idea. I went and helped my daddy accomplish some things this morning over in
did
Franklin.
you go to Chick-fil-A in Silva?
Franklin.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, that one's the best.
Oh, my goodness. My people were in Franklin yesterday. Our house guests and my wife, they all went down there because her sister has a place down there. Mm-hmm. I stayed home and I watched a movie.
Nice.
That was pretty much it. Anyway, so speaking of corruption, threats and harassment, and unbelievable cover-up, I'm going national now. I was
Yes.
I was bedding down for the night Sunday, and something caught my eye on YouTube. I like to watch Benny Johnson because he's one of my homeboys from the Tampa Bay area, and has he been successful with his talk show on YouTube, the Benny Show, and very, very successful. I've never met the man, but very, very successful. And he's gotten into some tight circles. Let me tell you, he's gotten into he's been in the White House. He's been everywhere. I mean, he's been everywhere.
Man.
Yep. He even went over to the Alligator Alcatraz and interviewed Trump personally 3 different times. During that day when Trump was going around, he was being followed around by a gaggle of reporters, and Benny was just hanging in there. Anyway, so this thing caught my attention right before I went to bed last night. Sunday night. And they being the DOJ and the FBI released their final determination on the Epstein files, and it was a joke. It was an absolute joke. When we go back, we play the videos of Pam Bondi saying, I've got the Epstein client list on my desk and I'm going through it. There are tens of thousands of videos. There's a lot of pornography in there, child porn, all kinds of stuff. She's talking about all that kind of stuff. And then their final determination is there is no client list. They said that out loud. There is no client list. There will be no further investigation. This is done, and we get nothing. Patel announced like a month ago that Epstein killed himself.
Yeah, I watched that podcast with Joe Rogan.
Right. They also put out a video of the cell door and the security camera video from the cell block, and said you just see for yourself that there's nothing going on here. And then they get caught editing a minute out of that video. A whole minute was edited out of it. And now everybody's going, well, what was in the minute? Why was it cut out? This is such BS. It's absolute BS.
At the risk of the CIA showing up to find me, they get away with everything because what are we going to do?
Well,
what are you going to do?
I'm guessing all we have is guesswork now. All we can do is guess. Were there just too many politicians on both sides who are too involved in the situation?
They're all the same system. They're all part of the system.
Yes, but the system was supposed to be taken down. That was the point. This is as big as the Kennedy assassination.
It's the lie that they fed us to get us through to passing all the fancy technology so that we just imprisoned ourselves.
It's that big. I'm not going to AI yet. Don't take me down that bunny trail yet.
Oh, we can't hop there yet. I know. I got a big surprise for you, Stan.
let's wrap this up first. Anyway, so
yes, it's
everybody on both sides. Now, the Democrats don't seem to care too much. They're not making a big deal out of this. But the Republicans are. And
well, that's the game, is let's divide and give each side something to be pissy about.
We've just been for years now on just waiting with bated breath for some great big lump of information to be given out, and it's not going to happen.
You know what would change things?
It's not going to happen.
Remember the Million Man March?
Why did they promise it, and why did they build it up so much? I'm talking about Pam Bondi, Kash Patel,
they're part
Dan
of the
Bongino.
system.
Why did they build it up so much? Why didn't they downplay it? Because I could see a turn when Dan Bongino and Kash Patel were on somebody else's show, and they both said, "Yeah, he killed himself. Yeah, he killed himself. Yeah, we've seen the tape. Yeah, he did. He killed himself." And I'm like, something's not right there. That's not right at all. Of course, you've got huge proponents like Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens, people who I recently poo-pooed because they freaked out so bad when the U.S. bombed Iran and took out their nuclear facilities. They were wrong to get all out of joint like that. President Trump completely had it under control, and it worked out for the best. That's great. On the other hand, this Epstein thing is sending a lot of people over the edge, and it's going to go very badly for the Trump administration. It's good. This isn't going to be one news cycle, one and done. A lot of people are chipping their teeth on this. It's that bad. It's that bad.
The Epstein thing is larger than just a pervy old man who took young girls to an island for clients to come do their dirty deeds with. I think that it goes much further into even DSS and social networks.
A former investigator was told to keep your hands off it because he was intelligence. He was in intelligence.
I mean, in public school, there's literally grooming that starts in elementary school, and you have created a perfect environment because there are non-disclosures that a teacher has to sign an NDA in order to have a teaching position in at least North Carolina.
Yes.
So
that's very common.
If the teacher sees the principal do something terrible, she's not allowed to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
So we've created the perfect environment for groomers.
Yes.
And those that go in and they identify this kid, and this kid can disappear and nobody's going to care. So it's a whole infiltrating system.
All right. So the Republicans are not going to take this lying down.
Yeah.
More is going to happen. More has to happen with this. It can't just, it's not going to not just going to lie there. There's more's got to happen. Don't you think?
I think that it's all connected and that we as the peons are just the peons and that this whole system is a game. That's all a game. Laws have been written to protect the ones who make the laws.
Things have changed.
I do hope so. I hope this is the dawn of a new era.
Things have changed. Look how long it took for the Kennedy assassination stuff to start coming out. Because back then when it happened, everybody trusted the government. Everybody trusted the news. Walter Cronkite,
That's
Huntley
true.
Brinkley.
This is true.
Everybody trusted that. That has completely changed. No one trusts the media anymore. No one trusts the government because we have been lied to so much about extremely important issues. We have found out that Vietnam was a false flag operation. We have found out that Iraq, weapons of mass destruction, George W. Bush, thank you very much.
So
false flag operation. Yeah. All right, there's more.
Yeah,
there are more. I mean, the Bay of Pigs, Cuba, false flag operation by America, wanting to get us involved in a war. It was my hope that all this was going to stop with the latest iteration of the Trump administration.
Well, let's go a little further and look at the free things that the government does. Free things from the government are not good. In the beginning, when you had the government giving free blankets to the Native Americans, that was not nice.
I've been on kind of a tear about that on X for the last couple of days about the fact that, Democrats especially love to get poor people hooked on free stuff. And then they imported a bunch of poor people.
I don't think they do it with malicious
intent. And hooked them
intent.
on free stuff.
I don't think they do it with malicious intent. It comes from a place of, I think maybe a large portion of them were always provided for, so they don't understand that maybe you got to work for what you get.
It destroys the nuclear family.
Absolutely tears it apart. Absolutely destroys it.
That is a Marxist concept. Destroy the nuclear family.
But
and the way you do it is by giving everybody free stuff.
But I know a bunch of these liberals, and they even label themselves liberals, and I really want to get away from our labeling each other because that puts us in these boxes where we're supposed to be separate, and we don't all just because we don't agree on some things doesn't mean that we can't have civil discourse.
In order to have civil discourse and agree to disagree and all that, you have to have love for each other.
Yes.
And we are sadly lacking with that.
Horribly.
That's not happening.
But that's something that I've noticed about the liberals is that, and I don't mean that disrespectfully, I'm making fun of the conservatives.
Stop with the air quotes.
We're in boxes over here. So, I don't mean that disrespectfully on either side, but that's got to stop. But they are coming from a place of love.
The liberals are?
A lot of it, yes. They see it as they need to love their human man and give all, and we can all collectively provide for these. And a lot of these folks, I don't think have ever had to work for what they had. As far as like growing up, I understand that you had to work for what you had, and you paid your mortgages and you worked your asses off to have a retirement and get where you are now. I understand that. I'm saying, like, if you don't go out and do X, Y, and Z today, you're not going to eat.
Okay, well, this is where you and I are going to completely disagree. I know for sure that the Democrats of the 60s and going into the 70s and all of that were definitely, as you are saying, they were. All right. But
Yes.
Today's Democrats have been so badly, horribly co-opted by a far left liberal Marxist socialist element that it's now a absolutely false flag operation that we're doing good things for people. What we're doing is we're subjugating them and getting them hooked on free stuff and drugs.
I know.
We're talking about open drug markets. It's unbelievable the things that are going on in some of these cities, these blue cities. It's crazy. And it's got to stop. It has to stop. And the fact that New York is now looking at electing a full-blown Marxist socialist mayor who says, I am a socialist, and well, there's stuff coming out about him now. He lied on a college application, said he was black.
That's why I just call myself colorful.
He's actually Indian.
I'm colorful.
I thought he was Arabic. With the name he had and all that. No, he's Indian. He's Indian.
Is he the Mahad or whatever that guy?
Morad or Morad. That's his first name. Last name Ahmadabi, something like that. I'm making that up because I don't remember what it was. But yeah. Anyway, so we don't need to dwell on that. The bottom line for me is I'm seeing America and American cities especially and lower class poor people being completely co-opted by the left. Absolutely co-opted by the left. And I know that many of them have left that movement and are much more into family values and making things like they used to be in this country. And I applaud that. Yeah, far more black people, far more Hispanic people voting for the Republicans this time than in decades, long decades. And that's good. That's a good thing. And the fact that we're getting all these alien invaders out of the country. I mean, if you somehow you removed all 20 million of the ones that have come in since the Obama administration, if you removed all of them, the Democrats would never be able to win another election.
That's sad.
Okay. That's sad.
That's so sad. Why did we put ourselves in these boxes? You know what we need to be thinking?
I'm just talking I'm not talking about boxing. I'm talking about truth. I'm talking about facts.
I'm going to talk some truth. So here's some truth. You know what we need to be worried about? Our nuclear family, our nuclear community, our nuclear little garden and what's going on here. And yes, we should worry about that, whatever. You know what's going to happen? We have to change it from the inside of the small so that it ripples out. I'm hoping for a movement that does change a lot of things, but it does start on a small level. And if we can't get town of Bryson and Swain County together when they're basically the same thing, but we can't get these two entities to work together for the better of all of the county citizens, how are we going to change things on a national anything?
Well, it's a great question, but I don't think we're going to change anything on a national scale.
I do think that it's important to be involved and be aware of what's going on because it does trickle down. But if you are a solid nuclear family and you've got dad, mom, and the kids have a nice support system, and dad is good to mom and mom is able to pour her energy out where it needs to go on taking care of her family unit, then that's solid. Then you start having solid friendships amongst the communities instead of the crazy things that go on. And then, you know what I mean? Now you've got solid communities. And when you have churches that are family and they all come together from their little community and they sit together once a week and they worship together and they exchange news and ideas. It's harder to break that up. It's harder to keep them arguing amongst each other. And if you do that and you have those solid community units, and especially here, we have the unique ability to, well, you grow this in your garden and you grow that in your garden, and you have eggs, and over here we have a couple cattle, etc. And then that community becomes self-sustaining. When you have those self-sustaining communities, you don't need the federal money.
No, but it's the whole point of doing that voluntarily and not through a government action, because that's communism. You do communities who share and cooperate,
right,
and all that. That's because we're, as Christians, we're to do that. We're to love each other. We're to love one another as we love ourselves, love each other. And but that's a choice, and the government can't make that choice for you.
Well, something that has been taken away from, it's been a deliberate breakdown by this system, and something that we've kind of slipped away from in our over-humanization of ourselves is we are animals. We are mammals, and there are pack needs and community needs. You need a community. It takes a community to raise a child. It takes it does, because you can't do it by yourself, but that group of people has to work together. And it's become to the point that everybody's just forced together in this big salad bowl, and nobody wants to acclimate or give. We're trying to be like, I'm a tomato and I'm a cucumber and I'm cauliflower.
No, I had a huge experience with that where I came from. Operated a 501c3 charitable organization where I was the president and chief bottle washer for that thing. And my whole thrust was to get people to act together to help somebody else in the community with money. We're talking about with money. And of course, other things happened as well. Other forms of support came out of that as well. Mm-hmm. But initially, it was just like, give me the money and I will find the people who need it. And I did. And they came to me. Of course, they came to me.
Yeah.
But the fraud that went down with that, and the fake applications for assistance, the way people would just turn a deaf ear to what I was trying to do, all that stuff. And I got tremendously jaded from the whole experience, because we had a whole lot of people. It's through a Facebook group. We had a whole lot of people in that Facebook group. In fact, by the time I got out, there were 200,000 people in there, and we weren't able to collect more than about $3,000 a month. And that's pathetic.
Yeah.
That's truly pathetic. I got to the point where I stopped haranguing about it to them. It's like, you know the kind of good we could do. You know the kind of mountains we could move. If I could just get $10 a month out of half of this group, that would be an unbelievable amount of money that we could really, really make a difference. It just didn't happen.
No, because you get too many regulations and red tape. And
No.
Organizational.
No, not with me. Not with me. I was the show.
I know, and then look what happened from that. That's what I'm saying.
To a large degree, people just ignored it.
It philanthropy.
Now, I will say this. When something came up, married couple with a 10-year-old son who were living in a U-Haul, when something came up, and I was obviously emotionally involved in what was going on, and I would make a video, I'd put it out there. I collected $16,000 in 3 days one time and gave it to these people to get them a place to stay and out of the U-Haul. Of course, U-Haul came around. They wanted their truck back immediately as soon as they found out a family had been living in it. But she had been shot in the head. She survived like this in a wheelchair for the rest of her life. And, anyway, that thing it was a beautiful thing. The news crew came out and we did a big thing and got them out of that and all that. 3 months later, that sucker called me up again and said, I need more money. Unbelievable. But so I've had my fill of that. Now, that was obviously
philanthropy and community are not
right. Now,
synonymous.
obviously, the St. Petersburg, Pinellas County area is a much bigger area than Swain County.
Yeah.
So many more people. I mean, a lot. There are 1 million people in Pinellas County alone. And then you've got Hillsborough County across the bay. That's like 2 million people.
Yeah.
So, but I wasn't really involved with that. I tried to keep it right within St. Petersburg. But anyway, it worked out great for a while, and we did give away lots of cash awards, and we saved a lot of people from eviction, from getting their cars repossessed. We bought diapers, formula. I mean, you name it. We did a huge Christmas every year of that for like 5 Christmases in a row. We were able to spend $15,000 on toys the year before I left St. Pete. And
nice.
Yeah, it was
Very
pretty
nice.
amazing. Pretty amazing. Yeah. Anyway, so that didn't work out too well in the end, but there you go. Community is a beautiful thing.
Give them a fish.
When
They'll eat for the day.
Yeah. Teach them how to fish and they'll eat for life. Anyway, now you've got a new toy you want to talk about. I want to put that up there. I'm going to run the favorite things thing. Here we go. Give a little applause here. There we go. And here's the favorite things logo. And you've got, oh my goodness.
Give me some shades.
You've got now these are the new Meta. Wait a minute. I thought you were going to get the Ray-Bans,
They are.
but they're not sunglasses.
They're transition lenses.
Oh, they're
don't
okay. mine are transition lenses as well.
They don't
They work really
transition
well.
very fast.
Now you got yourself the new Ray-Ban Meta glasses,
Because I don't like technology.
but these are filled with technology.
I've got the greatest music in my head now. It's like it don't even affect anything. It's just playing right here in my head.
Okay, so you've got no earbuds in or anything like that.
Mm-mm.
It works through your ear bones and transmit music into there.
Yeah, it's great.
And there are 2 cameras. There's a camera here and a camera there.
And now I can't wait to take some videos.
So you can be wearing these glasses, looking right at somebody, and you're shooting them on video.
It could happen.
And it's got a microphone in it too, so it records the audio.
That's also my understanding.
All right. Anything else?
I'm going to use them for real estate.
Oh, like walkthrough videos and that sort of thing?
Yes, you get like a bird. If you're 5'2",
Yeah.
you get the view from home, what you would
Right.
when you walk in the door.
Well, what I'm doing right now is I'm putting your information up there because it has changed. We've got new simplified information about how to contact Ms. Courtney Wilde on Facebook.
Someone told me to kiss it.
What does that even mean?
Keep it simple,
Okay.
stupid.
Oh, keep it simple, stupid. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So the new information is on the web. It's
Courtney,
Courtney-
NCRealty.com.
Courtney NC Realty, NC for North Carolina, obviously, CourtneyNCRealty.com. That is far simpler than it used to be. And then you've got a refreshed new YouTube channel. And all you have to do is go in a search string in YouTube and put in Courtney Dills Realtor.
That's correct.
Okay, very good. Courtney Dills Realtor.
Yeah, I'm going to up my tech game.
And you'll have your realty videos up there.
Yeah, made
Okay.
with my handy dandy sunglasses.
Very, very good. Very cool.
Yeah, nice.
Very good. And if you ever need any help with that, you let me know.
I'm
'Cause
going to.
I've done a lot of that kind of thing.
You know what I've heard? That Corbin is actually
Corbin.
needing some advice on buying a house.
On what?
Buying a house.
I see.
And so
Okay.
I was going to ring him up and see if he wanted to come do an interview with me here in
Oh,
the
that
studio.
would be awesome. That would be awesome. If y'all haven't seen Corbin, you need to. And Corbin lives on your Facebook page.
Corbin
right?
does live on Facebook.
Corbin lives on this is where Corbin lives. You can, when you go to somebody's Facebook page, you can just click on videos and see all the videos they've uploaded. But yeah, Corbin is your alter ego, and
It is.
it's hilarious, and I love it.
Because
Absolutely love
Corbin's a boy.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
A very local kind of boy, very local Swain County kind of boy. Yeah.
But any man who has ever worked an industrial job knows a Corbin.
Yeah.
Then there is a Corbin on every crew. It's got the cigarette, just,
Yeah.
yeah,
I hear you.
a little disheveled, a little disreputable.
I hear you. I hear you. Well, we're all disreputable in our own right. Yeah. We all have skeletons in our closets. We all have things. It's no secret. You know, everybody's got things that they're embarrassed about or regretful for. Yeah. Blah 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 blah. And I wouldn't hold it against you.
You know what you do with that stuff? So like, poof, that happened yesterday. I'm not even worried about it today.
Amen.
All I can do is better today.
There you go.
But you do worry about it. You do. It gets to you and works on you. The only thing you really can do is a genuine apology. And that's not just words, it's your actions.
Absolutely true. You need to keep short accounts and make apologies.
Yep.
There's nothing better than an apology, really. Nothing better than that. As far as your own soul and cleansing, apologies are a beautiful, beautiful thing. I pity the fool who cannot apologize.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate. Now, me, I just want to say, in my faith and with my walk with God, you talk about these things eating away at you and yelling you. You can truly wash those things away. You really can, because you know that whatever you are is between you and God and no one else. Mm-hmm. No one else.
Yeah.
And people can say what they want. They can do what they want. Nothing matters other than your personal relationship with God. And that will absolutely cleanse those things from you and allow you to sleep at night.
You still have to have personal relationships with the people that you've screwed over or hurt. So even with that divine forgiveness, you can't keep being a jackass.
True.
You got to work on your behavior. That's what an apology is, a change of behavior. Acknowledge that this hurt you. And so from henceforth, I'm going to be aware that fucks you up. And we're going to go forward without that in our... I said the F word again.
That's okay.
Oh, my word.
It's only words, and words are all I have
Beep.
to take your heart away.
Beep.
Now, it's all.
How do we get off
on
on all these different subjects? It's so fun talking to you, Stan. We never know what's going to happen in here.
Because squirrel.
Oh, yeah. Did you hear
it.
about...
Oh, wait, is it?
Yes, Island Park. Let's touch on Bryson City, very local.
What happened in Island Park?
Remember the Army Corps of Engineers came and they worked very okay. And they did a wonderful job, and they cleaned up all the homeless trash and everything. They did excellent. Our little population of, I don't even know what to call them no more, because everything is politically incorrect. But,
we don't do PC here.
So
PI.
All of those homeless that we worry about,
yeah,
that are not just the unhoused.
Are they back at Island Park? The homeless?
It is disgraceful. It is absolutely disgraceful. It is not a safe place for you to take your children to walk in the afternoon. It's not a safe place for your children to go running around. If it weren't for Swain Clean and the personal efforts of a couple of individual folks, the needles would be out of control.
My goodness. I did see that somebody was organizing another cleanup of Island Park. Well, why isn't law enforcement getting them out of there?
They say they don't have the resources, but I don't know what we're supposed to do with it anyway. I mean, the humanitarian liberalist side of me that fits in that box really does want to help these people.
Well, the problem's just going to grow.
But the hardcore, I've walked that path and know what I'm talking about. Conservative Christian side of me says they have to help themselves. If we continue just throwing out corn, they're just going to continue growing in their
I've had such
number and the problems. They're not going to get help.
I've had such a lot of personal experience with this in regard to addicts, people who just are mentally not in a good place, unhealthy places, self-loathing, people who just cannot seem to get out of that rut and help themselves.
And I realize addiction affects every single class. It's not just these are the only drug addicts in the world. No, they're not. That's not what anyone is saying. Because there are addicts in every population.
Sure.
Some alcohol is worse than a lot of others.
Yep.
But they function. Mm-hmm. They carry their own weight. These that you have over here, maybe they cause discord in their own family and their own circles. And that's on y'all's personal responsibility. But these guys over here, it's not everyone's personal responsibility because everyone has tried to help them. There have been resources given. So I heard that legislation has changed very recently, like within the last 3 to 6 months, regarding camping in the state of North Carolina and it becoming 3 days and that's it, or something to that effect. So,
But you've already told me that they don't have the resources to do anything about it, even if that was legislated.
if we were to open a full-blown drug rehab facility, say even where the middle school is right now, and we were saving 100 people a year, when they return to our community, where do they go? What do they do at that point? We don't have the infrastructure in place.
No, of course not. And no, people can't afford. People who work in Bryson City can't afford to live in Bryson City.
We don't have the infrastructure in place to support our own population.
No, that's absolutely true.
Nor housing.
That's absolutely true.
And
Well, the housing that is here is not affordable for.
it is not affordable,
for
and
many working class folks.
a lot of it has been turned into Airbnb, short-term rentals, and that's fine. That's what you want to do, but it's getting kind of hard to find somebody to cook a cheeseburger, ain't it?
Yeah, it's true. And now I had heard that the bottom was kind of falling out of the Airbnb thing in Swain County. And then I find out that the 3 houses below me right here off the hill, 3 houses below me now, they're all Airbnb. They weren't, but now they are. And I just kind of went down that road a little bit, and there's another group of houses down there, and they're all Airbnb now. I'm like, well, where are all the people coming from to stay in these things? I mean, I realize it's a tourist area. I mean, Bryson City is a tourist town now. Forget about it. Mm-hmm. The Great Smoky Mountain Railroad brings in hundreds of tourists every day during the season anyway. There's no getting around that. It's the reason why Everett Street is what it is. Mm-hmm. It's all shops, candy shop, delicatessen, curio shop. You know, it's just stuff for tourists. It really is. The whole Everett Street is stuff for tourists. Mm-hmm. Even Smith's Dry Goods, which is a great store, a wonderful store, they depend on the tourist business. And it's all set up like that for tourists. Bryson City Outdoors.
No, it's not all set up like that for tourists. That's been in their family for a really long time.
But I mean, the way it's set up in there
is exactly the way
it looks like a department store.
It's exactly the way it's been set up since I was a very small child.
I'll believe you.
Still smells the same.
But it smells like a country store. I mean,
it's
perfect.
That's not for the tourists. That was a place that we had as locals to be able to go get our blue jeans.
However, it does have all the T-shirts and the hats.
Yeah.
And it's got all that. You know, I bought Bryson City hat in there. I bought T-shirts.
Well, pre the train, we were still a tourist town. We had Deep Creek and the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. The Nantahala Gorge was a really popular spot. We had a lot of tourism from that. Plus, we had people like yourself who your grandparents came through and loved it one day, or your parents, and they
been coming here since I was a little kid. Kid.
So I feel like, it may not be as poppin' without the train, but there also wouldn't be as big of a strain on the sewage and water, the school system, as far as transportation of the students to and from school. There wouldn't be as big a problem with things like, we're getting ready we should be having a red algae bloom at the mouth of the lake anytime.
Is that a fertilizer issue?
I would think it would be. It seems like that flows downstream.
Yeah, that happens in Florida too.
Once you have an influx of tourism and your sewage can't handle it, and it just...
Well, we get horrible red tide issues, had them down there in Tampa Bay. Horrible. Yeah. And some years worse than others, but they nailed it down to fertilizer runoff.
Oh, I was talking about human fertilizing the
No,
water.
I'm talking about actual fertilizer runoff.
That's been a problem, and we don't acknowledge that.
Human fertilizer.
Well, our sewage facility can't handle the residents.
Yeah.
What do you think the influx of tourism is?
Well, I hear you. Well, you know what? We need to end this on an up note.
Up note. I was practicing that all week.
I bet you were.
Nope. Another favorite thing, Chick-fil-A, sweet tea.
Oh my goodness. Now you got Chick-fil-A down in Franklin. Now I understand we're going to have a Chick-fil-A food truck here in town. It's going to be stopping over there at Bryson City Outdoors.
I bet they won't be there on Sundays.
Of course not. They don't operate on Sundays.
It's because they're holy chicken.
We mentioned earlier that there was a missing minute from the Epstein security footage from the cell block. Well, somebody found the missing minute.
Oh.
Yeah, they found the missing minute, and here it is. It's right here. They came up with it, and here it is. They're replaying it now. Oh, that's.
I bet she wasn't going in there for the same kind of favors her husband was getting.
Yeah. Anyway, so I
That's
just
cute.
excuse me, I got a little tickle in my throat. Wanted to put that up there. Okay, what else can we do here? Let's go down the little reels rabbit hole here. Let's see, we'll find the reels here. Okay, here we go. I don't know. We're just going to play some reels. And see
¿Y si
what
mañana
happens.
Rusia lanza una bomba atómica sobre Kiev?
Hey, you want to see
El
some-
misil
Oh.
despega. En menos de 5 minutos,
That's
Kiev
Spanish.
desaparece.
That is
Yeah, that's
Ciento
Spanish.
cinco-
Okay, whatever. Okay. Ukrainian drones flew to the relay plant. Oh my goodness. Okay, now that it's commercial.
I know a spell to make you last longer in bed.
How real couples sleep.
She did that wrong. You're supposed to do it real slow and
Oh, look,
long
look,
with a
look,
pillow.
Covering it. Oh, thank you, dear.
In today's challenge, I'm gonna use reformer proof from Curtis
No.
Fried bacon mac and cheese.
Oh, look, it's a
hot
cooking
dog.
lesson.
Form your mac and cheese around the bacon and the hot dog
Bacon
to
and
form a
hot dog
nice
in the middle
little
of mac
corn
and
dog
cheese.
shape. But we're not using corn here. We're using panko breadcrumbs to
We
make
wonder
it
why
nice
we're
and
all a
crispy
bunch
on the
of
outside.
badasses.
Standard breading procedure. Fry it until
Now,
it's
hang on there. You can eat that once in a while, and it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
We're not just sitting around stuffing our faces
Golden
with this
brown.
kind of stuff. Oh, look at this. This guy's got cats. He's got a literal cat hotel on his back. Taking him on the subway. Those are some well-behaved cats right there. All right. Now. Old people trying to reproduce.
Now, what the hell is you doing here? Hold on. I'm almost there.
Oh, my goodness.
All right. Girl, let me inside.
All right, this is enough of that. What is that thing? Oh, they're making a rhythm track on the cat.
Back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity. Oh, there goes gravity. Choke. He's so mad, but he won't.
Okay. Oh, whatever. What's this? Oh, man, check this out. Have you ever been that close to an airliner coming in? It's frightening.
I've got some photos.
It's amazing.
From Vegas and a couple of videos.
Absolutely amazing.
Top
Next-
10 moments of Ozzy
Pretty
Osbourne
wild.
and Black Sabbath's farewell show in No.
How about that? Black Sabbath, Ozzy Osbourne, the original Black Sabbath with Ozzy Osbourne. They did one final show. And there were a whole lot of other bands associated with it. In fact, I saw Jack Black was out there with some kids who were amazing players. And they were doing Mr. Crowley from Ozzy. I can't remember if that was a Black Sabbath one or if that was an Ozzy solo thing, but it was just insane, absolutely insane.
This AI.
Okay. Oh, that was fun. Special effects, whatever.
How do you explain this 4-year gap in your resume? That was when I went to Yale. Impressive. Oh, I think you're hired. Thank you. I really need the job. How do you explain?
Does this sound familiar? Tuning your guitar every time before
No,
playing?
I don't care.
When you feel sad or simply just had one of those days, remember that you have me. I may not be much, but at the end of the day, I will always be by your side. I love you so much. Bye.
That'll do. Okay. Right now, we want to make sure that everybody knows they need to. You're on the YouTube channel now, the Stan Show channel. Please subscribe to the channel. Subscribing is not that big of a thing with YouTube anymore, but we have such pathetically low subscription numbers that we need to get that happening. So please do subscribe to the YouTube channel, The Stan Show, and like this video, give it a thumbs up like, and please share it with your friends and family. Okay, we've got people out there who watch every week, who love what we're doing.
Like my mama.
There you go.
Thank you, mama.
Mama's good to you. That's great. But Anyway, we've got a lot more coming over the next weeks. I hope you all enjoyed the little intro videos with our, we call them the cryptid couple.
Yes.
And named them
Sasquatch.
Alan and Chester. It's Alan and Chester.
Alan and
And
Chester.
we're going to have a lot more
You
of them.
can't be Chester.
In fact, don't tune out just yet because during the credits there'll be another episode.
Do I not get to vote on it? It's just Chester.
It's Alan and Chester. Unless you want to help pay me for the AI that I'm using to do it.
Subscription.
No, it's not that much actually. But did you have a good time?
I have had a great time as always. Dan.
Well, I'm glad we were able to do this on a Tuesday, and maybe we'll just keep doing it on Tuesday from here on out. I don't know. There will be a ton of short videos that are going to be released over the next few days. Try to do about 5 or 6 every day
You do
that come
wonderful
out,
job. Thank
and
you.
people just watch those thousands of times. Go figure. Not sure why they do, but they do. Yeah. Well, with that, I would invite you to say good night, Courtney.
Good night, folks, and Courtney.
There you go. We're going to take this out. Hope you had a lovely time. We will see you next time.
Hi, Stan. Love the show. Chester wants to know if Courtney is available this week for coffee sometime.
Oh, yeah.